And we're here with Chords and the Truth. I'm Pete Kramer with my good friend and co-host Alejandro Nobles. Translated is Alex Nobles.
That's right, Pete.
Sitting across from me, I've got, at Master Control, I've got Sebastian DeJesus running all this stuff to make everything go smoothly. Just a little bit of things that I want to mention first before we start getting involved and talking to our guest. Don't forget Special Spaces Buffalo. They do incredible work for making bedrooms for kids who are terminally ill or very ill. They don't need to be terminal, but they'll put together a themed bedroom if they like Spider-Man or whatever to make this stuff happen, but they rely on donations. Alex, just to make sure, because I don't think I've mentioned this before, Alex is the founder of Buffalo's country rock band, The Noblemen. He's just finally able to start getting out and being able to play in places again. So I highly recommend it. I've seen these guys a bunch of times. Go see the band if you have the opportunity. We're coming out with our 5th album, believe it or not, the Eastwood Project. Can't even believe that we've been together as long as we have, but, album number 5. And I have to thank a lot of we've had so much talent on this show in a very short period of time. We began with Mike Lehman and Vicky DeVoe from Red Rain, Dave Bienick, the original guitar player for Cock Robin, Davey O, Pat Terry, Richie Durwald. Last week was the Chris Squire Band, and that was just out of control. Those guys are all crazy. Between Larry and Steve and Chris, we had such a blast. But anyway, this week we've got the pleasure of welcoming, I'm doing this right, Patsy, for you, Patsy Silver Cristofanilli. Finilli. Jeez, why did I do that wrong again? Finilli.
Well, it's like mini Vanilli, but I'm a real Finilli.
Okay.
Cristofanilli.
Yeah, Cristofanilli.
I apologize. Welcome, Patsy. We're glad to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it was our pleasure. No, I mean, you got a really cool story to tell. I was listening to that video, which we're going to show some of the video a little bit later. But, man, what a voice you got. Holy cow.
Thanks. It's a gift. Definitely, everyone is born with a gift, and God gave me the gift of voice.
How do you like it?
And harmony.
Who do you like in yourself?
I mean, I can harmonize with anybody. I did those 5 harmonies on Richie's.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me that.
Yeah, I loved it. I love working with Richie. When I see his name on my phone, I go, oh, now what?
Richie's a cool guy. But, take us back to how everything started for you. Give us a little bit biography.
You mean like from the beginning?
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Well, okay. Well, I feel comfortable with everything. I mean, my life has been, I could write a book, but I can't write a book yet because there's things in there that might get me in trouble. So I won't write about those things.
Patsy, this is your life.
I started at a very young age. I mean, I used to go in the basement as a kid with my record player and listen to Elvis Presley and then when the Beatles came out, that got canceled. So I became the 5th Beatle in my basement. Awesome. And I sang at the school plays, Orchard Park High School. Hi, Orchard Park guys. I love you. I was in the plays and in the chorus, and that was the only reason why I went to school. And I was always singing. I started taking dance classes when I was 4, but by the time I was like 8, I was under the piano singing with the piano teacher because we had a live piano teacher. And I didn't really want to dance. I wanted to sing. So I performed at Kleinhand's Music Hall the very first time. I think I was 14. I played the guitar to Ode to Billy Joe, and I sang the song, and the girls danced to it.
Really?
And I really enjoyed that. But I never thought much of it. I mean, I knew I could sing, but I never knew what I could really do. And so, let's see. Let's take a big leap. I was visiting my brother Michael in Florida, and I think I was 18, and there was a bar, and it had singing contest tonight. I mean, it was $100, and I'm an old timer, so back then when I was 18, $100 was a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, what'll I do? What'll I do? I got up there and sang "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay" with the band.
Great song.
And people were going crazy. I'm like, really? And I won. I actually won.
Wow.
So I said to myself, I think I can make a living out of this, you know?
Nice.
So from there, I went to Texas. I was visiting a friend in Texas, a very good friend. And I decided I wanted to live there. I loved Corpus Christi, Texas. I lived on Padre Island in a little bungalow by the beach. I just wanted to be a beach bum and sing. So I got a part-time job at a bar as a barmaid. Didn't know anything about barmaiding, but back then when you were that age, you were kind of cute, and the guys didn't really care if you could make a drink or not, you know. But I'd always pull out my guitar, and I really didn't know how to play, so it was always 3 chords. And I'd walk around the bar and I'd say, "What's your name, guy?" And they'd say, "Alex." I'd say, "Well, I know a guy and his name is Alex." You know, and they give me money. I thought, what the hey? You know?
The Grammy goes to?
Yeah. And so there was a man called Robert L. Adams, and he just passed away recently. And he used to come in the bar and ask me if I wanted to sing with him. So I would, yeah, sure. So I started singing with him. And then it was like, oh, yeah, it was like a fairy tale to me. He was 20 years older than me. He was very respected and a very well-respected man about time. He would go to the bars at 8 o'clock in the morning. But he said to me, "Would you like a job in my recording studio?" And I'm like, yeah, sure, you know, sure. So I went with him and his secretary, and he owned a recording studio. It was called RLA Coastal Records.
Okay.
And he would sing a song to me that he wrote. He was a country singer, you know, because they were all country singers. He'd sing a song, and I'd sing it right back to him. I mean, I just have this way of, you sing me a song, I'll sing it back to you. Right?
It's a talent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So to make a long story longer, he wanted me to go to Nashville, Tennessee. So here I am, this girl out of nowhere, you know, I'm singing, and he said, "I want to take you to Nashville." He said, but I want to put a band together first. I'm like, okay. So we put a country band together.
How old are you at this age?
By that time I was, I think 23 or 24
Okay.
by that time. And I was doing country, but I was like, "Well, I see the train a-coming, and it's rolling around the bend." I mean, and these people, the cowboys were going nuts, throwing their hat up in the air and all this stuff. I said, well, I could do this, because I really liked the Beatles, and I really liked rock back then, you know,
Sure.
when I was a kid. And I wanted to be a rock singer, but hey, I'll take the country, you know. And so let's go further down the line. I recorded an album in Nashville with B.J. Thomas's studio.
Yep.
And Eddie Arnold's musicians. And these studios were cool. They were just old houses that they just tore the walls down and stuff. So I recorded an album, and believe it or not, I had a number 4 regional hit called Cozies and Snugglies.
Nice.
I'll send it to you sometime.
Yeah, do that.
But I have an album. I have my album, and it's all. I put it on Facebook to cover once in a while, but it's called Roll Call at Lou's, because all the people would come roll call.
Oh, we got frozen.
I think we lost Patsy here.
Temporarily.
While we get her there, Pete, who do we have coming up next week on 3 Chords in the Truth?
We got a bunch of people coming up. We've got Jamie. I was going to bring this up afterwards, and I can't think of his name at the moment. But I've seen this guy play guitar. He's just like crazy. And coincidentally, he's going to be doing the show from Richie's house.
Awesome.
And, so Richie will make a return. The week after that, we got Van Taylor from Taylor Made Jazz. Cool guy. I mean, he's just all over the place. He's got a movie project going on in Italy. We've got a music project going on down in Louisiana. The week after that, we've got Anthony Casuccio, who's the president of the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He's going to be on. And Marsha McWilson is just hysterical. She's on, I think it's the 30th or 31st. I talked to her on the phone the other morning about being on the show, and she was just out of sight funny. But what cool stories that she has to tell.
That's awesome. And folks, those of you who are listening in, we hope that this show brings you an element of intrigue and just kind of peeling back the pages of local music here in Buffalo and really understand how deep music is in Buffalo and how deep the roots are. When you look at Buffalo, how it is right now, as far as the music scene is, it goes way deeper. And, people like Pete's age or people like Patsy's age that were around kind of, I like to say the heyday of the music scene in Buffalo. That's what we're kind of bringing to everybody here with Three Chords and the Truth. Really get to know some of the local musicians here that can tell you firsthand what they were able to see and what they were exposed to and what they experienced. And, just hearing some of these stories and, just talking to Patsy in just the 2 minutes that we did here, and we'll bring her back up here as soon as we get this little glitch fixed here. But she's saying things like, "Yeah, I had a regional hit, and I recorded in Nashville, and all that." And what a really cool story. And I personally never would have known that unless we would have had Patsy here on Three Chords and the Truth.
Hang on, she's calling back in. I'm handing the phone over to Sebastian.
All right. We'll let Pete get that phone there, but as Pete was talking earlier, he's been working with some fellow musicians. I know a couple of the guys. They like to banter back and forth. And Pete, I hear it from Gary all the time when he comes to band practice about the kind of egging on that you guys do to each other. Can you comment to the fans while we're trying to get Patsy back on? What is it like what is it like at Pete's house when you guys record between Brian and Gary, you and Doug?
Well, it's funny you should ask that because quite honestly, it's between Brian and Gary, I even said to them a few times, "How long have you two been married?" They go like this all the time. And one of the funniest things that I remember about doing this, since we started doing it a couple months ago actually, Doug is the youngest one of the group, right? Mm-hmm. Here you got Brian and Gary going at it over on the other side of the room when we were, not recording. And then Doug goes ahead and takes a shot because these guys are like 15, 20 years older than he is. And we didn't really know Brian that well at the time. We'd met him about 3 or 4 times, but
right.
Brian, he's so freaking cool, man. He just, after Doug takes an age shot at both of them, Brian turns around and he goes, they're so cute at that age.
It sounds just like Brian.
Yeah, right? No, that was absolutely hysterical. But, I mean, the way that these guys fit in is just unbelievable. Doug and I had to get together about doing something, and I said, here's what I'm thinking. What would Brian do? Because Brian would say, the hell with it. Just do it all over again. And that's the way we would do it. But no, they're such, I mean, obviously you've worked with both of those guys as well. You work with Gary all the time. But it's, I don't know, it's just really good. It's a good fit, Alex,
Sure.
There's no egos, there's no anything, and everybody's, it's done. Oh, you put the song on.
Stand by in the set.
All right, hey, we're back. We had some gremlins going on, and in the meantime, we were able to show Patsy's video with her band, which was really cool. But in the meantime, we get a mystery guest that pops in out of nowhere. Where the hell did he come from? This is Richie.
So I get to tell the story again.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you got to tell the story again. But
I get to tell the story.
I saw you and was Party Naked, Patsy. Remember?
Yeah, I just wanted to name the band Party Naked because on the marquee we put no cover. Party Naked. No cover. People were coming in just to
I was
see what was going
attracted
on.
to that. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm with my band Silver Extreme, and Richie comes up to the with his wife. He comes up to the band. I mean, stands right in front of me while I'm singing.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, you know, I was probably really wasted. I'm sorry, or on some kind of drug. Go ahead.
I think we've got this on video.
So he said,
No,
Yeah,
they only had Super 8 film at the time.
This
Go ahead.
is a clean show, not for kids. Oh yeah. But anyway, to make a long story longer, he says I need a girl to fill in. Can you? I didn't even know the guy. Can you fill in? It's like for my show, and I said yeah, sure. You know, and I had to learn his songs, and he said about 3 or 4 weeks. It lasted 4 years. 4 years.
And Patsy,
With
you know,
Silver Extreme and
Yeah.
with Richie Durwald.
Patsy, you were obviously such a great show person. What was I to do? You know what I mean? I saw, I'm like, oh my gosh, she'd be perfect. And my favorite, I just have to tell one quick Patsy story. I tell this all the time. It's my favorite, most cool thing that ever happened in my whole life. I'm going to see Patsy's band, and Patsy wasn't there yet. So I started the set. And I don't know where we were, and I was kind of partying a bit, so didn't know what was going on. And then from what looked like a mountain, I saw a motorcycle. And it's coming, and it's loud, you know, and it's coming down, and it pulls up to the pavilion. She hops off of the bike without missing a beat, grabs the mic, what's up? 1, 2, 3, 4, and starts singing. And then there's a guy next to me, and he says, oh my gosh, she's like Cher. And I said, no, she's not like Cher. She's like Cher gone wrong, you know.
Cher gone wrong.
I'll never forget that.
I like the stories. But, you know, the video, I wanted to, not to change the subject, but I'm going to change. You showed the video of Fly on the Wall.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Did you show the video or did you just play the song?
No, we showed the video.
Well, it has a little story, just a little story. That's Radio 9, which is an original band that my husband, Joe Cristofanilli, my husband Joe,
Thank you.
and my brother-in-law Frank Cristofanilli, and like I said before, our guitar player went to be with the Lord. Mm-hmm. But we've started rehearsals again with another guy. But that song that we wrote. Okay, they write the music, they throw me the music, and then I write the lyrics. That song, I wrote that song about the United States of America before any of this ever happened. I mean, that song was written 4 years ago about people coming here and trying to, you know, mess up what we already have here in the United States, and that song, you know, our veterans, and you know, I just wanted to tell that story that was one of Radio 9's.
But you know what? Let me comment on that if you don't mind, because Alex is a songwriter. I'm a songwriter. The way that you did that lyrically, now I didn't know any of this stuff before you told me, because you're like Elton John. They go ahead and, you know, they throw you the lyrics. I'm sorry, the music.
They throw me the music.
And but it's just in reverse. But the way that was construed is that you could take it either way. So it wasn't, you know, left versus right. It wasn't right versus left.
Right.
It was so well done lyrically, and I didn't even know that you did the lyrics until you just told me that.
Yeah, I did all of the lyrics on Radio 9 album, because we have an album. It looks like this, Radio 9. And we did some concerts. We opened up for Lou Gramm, Finger 11, the Headstones, and we were going to do some stuff with Eddie Money and Blue Oyster Cult and all that, but unfortunately, we lost our guitar man, and but now we're in rehearsals again. We've got someone that is really good, and we're going to be writing some new songs.
Cool.
But in the meantime, Silver Extreme, my main band, cover band, we've been around since 1986.
Wow.
Yeah. And we've played, they've changed their names 100 times, these clubs we played.
Yeah, I'll bet.
It's never, did you ever play there? Well, yeah, well, it's not there anymore, But, going back to my story, because you wanted to know what happened.
Yes, we do.
I used to sneak in the Barrelhead, and my cousin is Constantino, and he used to play with Talus and all of them. And I used to get up there and play the tambourine, That's why I wanted to be a rock singer. And I really blew it when I blew the country thing. But it's okay, because I would have never met Joey.
Yeah.
Well,
as long as you're happy.
Everything happens for a reason,
I'm happy. And Richie, and my best friend Dottie, her name's Dottie Kenny. We have the Patsy Silver Dottie Kenny variety show, and we are called the Lady Rockers of the Night. And that entailed myself and Dottie and Lana Hergert and oh my gosh, everybody. I'm like, I can't even think of names right now. Caitlin Cook was one for a while, and
Amy Bingle,
and even Joyce Wilson Nixon.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What I did was I put this big show together, and I wanted to get all of the ladies who were in the band. I wanted to get them all together, and they did. They all came together for the food bank, and Richie was our master of ceremony.
Yes, that was great. I was the only non-lady there.
Because a lot of the ladies don't really talk to each other. I don't know why there was always problems with them talking to each other. So I got them all together, and it worked. It worked. So then we went from club to club to club doing this variety show. Dottie and I would have guests special. We called them surprise guests because we'd be surprised if they showed up.
Ho!
Amy was in it from Ultraviolet. As a matter of fact, I introduced her to a couple people, but there were some really cool chicks, really cool chicks. My cousin Rosie, Winnie Bergner. They had a band called Ladyfire back in the day, and there's just so much to talk about. I don't know what there's just so, my life has been so full. God has really blessed me with good friends and a wonderful husband and children and now you guys. Yay! Yay.
Well, that's the coolest thing about all the people that we've had on here, that they've all thanked God for everything that they've gotten. And I think that is fantabulous. I mean, Richie was on the show a couple weeks ago, and he more or less went through the same type of thing. And how the hell did you get on here? This is pretty cool that you showed up, man.
I always believed in God. I used to play church when I was a kid. I used to get my cousins. We do communion, with the little space tip candy. Right. And what do you sell? Except to Jesus that day, and it's been, ups and downs, because we're just flesh, walking around with this flesh. But, it's so awesome that I can't believe Richie's on.
I gotta say something about you and Joe. Okay, so Patsy's not just a great, awesome, incredible entertainer, maybe one of the best entertainers I've seen in my entire life. She's incredible to work with, but behind the scenes, Patsy kind of helped me straighten up. You know, I had quite a few addictions. I was drinking a lot. And Patsy, you know, used to have to kind of help me carry the show, but a lot of the conversations we had were so deep. And well, now 2021, Patsy and Joey are they're like my spiritual mentors. I'm going over their house this Friday, and they're still enhancing my life. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, on stage she's awesome, and off stage she might be even more awesome if that's possible.
I never change, though. I'm always me. I never really change. And I'm always in a good mood until somebody pisses me off.
Don't piss off. Share gone wrong, man.
I wake up in a good mood. I wake up in a good mood, la la la. But when somebody pisses me off, then it's not me. But I'm a happy person. I'm happy.
Did you talk about your studio yet, Patsy?
No, I want our friend Pete to ask Patsy, what about your studio?
There you go. Hey, Pete.
It's like the Richie and Patsy show.
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm going to hold back, man.
That's really hard for you to do, man. But I've had 3 or 4 different studios. I had one in Hamburg when I had Silver Extreme, putting that together. I had a regular studio right next to the poorhouse, so I teach and then go over there, And then I was too generous, though. Oh, I can't pay you this week, or I can't pay you. And I was always too generous, so I couldn't pay the rent. So I closed that one up. And I've had a couple different ones, but now I have a beautiful studio in my home. Thanks to my husband. He said, "Go ahead, rip it up, tear it up there." So we tore up the whole second story. We live in a house that was built in 1885, so it's got the big, all wood and everything. And now I have students. I had 13 students before COVID. And now I have 8 that I have coming back. But I teach them acting, singing, dancing, modeling. Every week is something different because it's all encompassed into performing arts. These days, you can't be a singer. You can't just be a dancer. You can't just be an actor. You have to be well-rounded in everything. So no, I don't just teach ballet. But I do torture them on the bar. And I teach them tap, and I teach them jazz, and I teach them, public speaking and how to introduce each other when they're modeling. It's all performing arts, all encompassed in an hour and 15-minute class. And the girls, they don't even want to go home. I call them my princesses instead of princesses.
What ages?
And it's called Creation Performing Workshop.
What ages do you teach?
Right now, I have a bunch of tweens.
Oh, okay.
I have one guy, Danny, who takes drum lessons from my brother Frank, and the same guy that's in Radio 9. He gives drum lessons if anybody's interested.
Cool.
And I have girls that I'd say my little ones are like I start them at 7, so I have like 7, 8, 9, 10 in this little group, and then the other group. They're my tweens. The tween is like right before they're teenagers. Yep. Which would be 10, 11, and 12.
Okay.
And they love it. They love it. We perform at the fair. We perform everywhere until COVID came. I've been at the fair like 35 years on the main stage, the one at Gate 2, the community stage.
Yeah.
And when I let them talk. I let them make up steps. I let them write their own dialogues for their scripts. And, of course I supervise, but it's not like one of your studios on the corner where you got 20 kids and they're all, let's just get some costumes and some pictures and go to finance. It's like a mentoring for them too, and they know I'm a Christian because I love them. I love them, and I love them so much, and they see this. They don't want to go home, They can't wait to come back, and that's all I'm looking for. is to share with them everything that I've learned in my 66 years. I'm a great-grandmother soon. Great-grandmother, would you believe that? They call me rock and roll granny.
Nice.
Yeah, my
Ooh,
29-year-old.
That nice. Okay.
My 29-year-old grandson is going to have. They're expecting. So. Oh.
No, Alex.
But I have some very talented children. One of them is Sonic the Hedgehog, the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's Baylina Productions is on YouTube, and he does all the animation for just YouTube. Sonic and Jurassic Park, Sonic and Jaws, Sonic Zombies, all that. I had to get that in there because he's
cool. That's cool. But I know Alex had some things that he wanted to ask you too, because I took up too much oxygen at the beginning of the show.
Way to go, Pete. You're not doing the show next week.
All right.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, let's let Alex talk, for goodness sake. I'm
Alex.
a polite mystery guest, and shut up.
I know I talk too much anyway. I because I don't know where to start and I don't know where to end.
That's
it's
all
just
right.
I pick around. So Alex,
that's the luxury of this show. It's an open forum. We ask a question, and if it goes on this tangent, squirrel, right? No, that's the great thing of this show. And a couple times you've talked about faith and things like that, and it really has kind of struck a chord with me. Growing up in kind of a music family with my uncle, and gosh, I can remember as little as I was, if I was able to get up on the stool to talk in the microphone, I did it. But along the way, you certainly see a lot of things. If you do have, if you are a believer, if you have faith, there's a lot of things kind of in the music world or being in bands that can really affect that. So I appreciate you kind of bringing that up and talking about how strong that is, because it's very easy in this business that you can kind of stray off to the road that you shouldn't go on. And it's really good to have people along with you, whether it's in the band or people in your life, to kind of keep you on that straight and narrow, And, but the other thing I wanted to get to, you mentioned something about when you look at music or kind of being an entertainer, it's more than just playing music. It all has to do with being the quote unquote entertainer, right? You have to kind of look the part, move, act, good speaking voice. And if you're the person talking to the microphone, getting the crowd, you have to have an ability to kind of connect with that crowd. And that's something growing up. I didn't have a problem with not talking.
Right. I never did.
Right. So that's something when you bring to a band, and I'm kind of relating with you. Can you kind of touch on when you look at, say, a front person of a band, if you were to pick 3 of the best qualities for a front person, and that could be a lead singer, a guitar player, what are the 3 best qualities that you could tell our listeners here today that a lead person could encompass to really, work on, practice, and really hone in on as part of their performance?
Well, one thing I think is really important for a lead singer and lead person, the one that's the leader, out there, is that you have to know the song you're singing. You have to know the story of the song. You have to be able to relate that to the crowd. You have to have eye contact with them and sing them that song and tell the story. Tell the story. You have to be prepared. You have to always be prepared. You can't go out there and have papers all over or your phone and you're trying to find lyrics and all that. I see that too much. Mm-hmm. You have to know the song and sing the song and relay it to that person. Eye contact. Look at them. Walk back and forth. Use the stage. Mm-hmm. For guitar players and bass players and such, I think that the coolest thing, like my husband does, is like he plays, but he gets into the groove and he'll take little steps, and then he'll jam with me, he'll jam with me and interact with each other, and the drummer, my drummer twirls his sticks, and he, makes faces and he, he really gets out there, I think that you should be having a good time.
Absolutely.
Showing people, because, you know, if I have troubles and I have cares and I have woes, when I hit that stage, Alex, it's all over.
It's a totally different show, right?
And I just want people, I want to give them a good time.
Right.
You know? And
it's
so
funny.
I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna know the song I'm singing, and I'm gonna deliver that song and tell that story and make sure that my sound man makes me crisp so that you can hear what I'm singing, not some, you know.
Yes.
I have a sound man. I have to have a sound man. Wherever I go, we take the sound man, because, you know, a sound man can make or break you when you're playing out at festivals and stuff. So I'm like, hi, sound man. Hey, you know, gotta be, because you're using their PA. Like when we played with Lou Rawls. Well, I played with Lou Rawls many years ago, but I'm talking about Lou Gramm. When I got up on the stage with them, and my husband made me aware of this, we didn't get the full PA. You know, they got the full PA. You know what I mean? Lou Gramm got the full PA, but Radio 9 did not get the full PA because we're just, you know, we just open for them. Yeah, so you got to be a people's people. How do you say
Sure.
it? Person's people person?
I think you got to be
uppity.
that you bring it to the people, you
Right.
interact with them.
You have to be prepared.
Right.
Prepared. You
I've
can't
always thought-
wing it. You don't wing it.
Absolutely.
You don't. I was a teacher for 17 years. I did not go in my classroom and wing it. I was at this desk for hours preparing
Right.
so that when I went in there, they could understand what I was teaching them.
Well, and that certainly builds up confidence in whoever it is, if you know what you're doing. And I love how you brought up when you are singing a song, know what the lyrics are and kind of what the story is behind it, because that can add such a totally different element of that song. And I know in my band, we've brought up songs before, and it whether it was I just didn't like the song or it just had a message that was, whoa, that's like really far off of what I feel comfortable singing.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of music. As I grew up kind of listening to music, I was big on just the beat and the rhythm growing up. But the older I get, the more I listen to the lyrics and how that can drive my likeness for a particular song.
Oh, sure.
You know? And then, of course, you have those songs. It's almost like, well, it doesn't matter what the lyrics are. I just love that hook. It's
Yeah.
really great.
When I was a teenager, I wasn't really listening to the words of Black Sabbath and Blood Rock, and, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, but I just love the music, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, and I'm like, is that what he's really saying?
Yeah.
Like that one song that the Rolling Stones do. He's actually telling the story about the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And I never knew that, you know. So what is it called? Sympathy for the Devil?
Sympathy for the devil, yeah.
But I just thought, oh man, what a cool beat, you know?
Yeah.
Until I listened to the lyrics and I'm like, ooh, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever hear that song, pardon my language, Crazy Bitch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so excited. We're going to learn Crazy Bitch. We're going to do it. And we did it. And when I got on stage, I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this song.
Yep.
I can't say that. I
Mhm.
can't say that.
That kind of ties into, we were talking about just a little bit about faith and stuff. And I've been asked to sing some songs that had some lyrics that kind of go way against what I believe. And you just kind of have to stand like, I just don't feel comfortable with that, with
Right.
singing that song. And certainly people are going to ask, well, why? So you kind of explain that, you know, and thankfully for the most part, the people I've worked with in the past, they're understanding of that. But I'm just really glad. I'm sorry.
I changed the lyrics.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. You know, I changed them around. So
Did you change it to Crazy Stitch about the lady that sews?
Crazy Stitch so much, you know.
Great story that is.
Yeah, right.
But when
She
there's-
can make a
there's-
great Afghan.
There's still songs that, you know, Silver Extreme does that I'm not real crazy about. You Shook Me All Night Long, you know. Like, I'm not real crazy about some of the lyrics, so we kind of make it, we put our own in there,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But I do have, we do have a Christian band, though, my husband and I, and my brother. We go upstairs on Sundays, and it's on YouTube. It's called Creation Christian rock band.
Creation Christian rock band.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's Creation. It's not. It's Creation Band. Gospel, but it's. You know, I give a little message because I don't go to my church anymore because I just don't. But so we do our own thing so that we can worship the Lord right in our own home,
Nice.
and we do. And we have a band, and it's yeah. I put it on YouTube.
Nice.
Like I'll tell a story with a moral in it. It's a story, just an everyday story that has a moral, and then God will hook me up with scripture to go with it. And we do that on Sundays when we can.
That's cool.
Yeah. I just do all kinds of things though. I have to be busy. I have to be busy.
One last thing I wanted to ask you real quick, and you touched on something that our very first guest we had, Dave Bienick. We were talking and we kind of went into this topic, and it ties into what we talked about with just being a performer, being on stage, and being interactive with the audience. And we talked about just how important it is for stage dynamics between each member of the band. And certainly you have the old cliche bass player that's just, doing his thing, just they get the head bob.
Yeah.
I
don't have one of those. I got the package.
But just touch on just how important it is. You can have 5 people up on a stage, but you guys probably know how just one person or one member and coming and bringing some baggage, whether they had a bad day at work or something like that, and how much that can change the dynamic and how much that can affect the outcomes of the performance at the end of the night. And I mean, and any of you guys can touch on this one. You guys have been around the block a few times.
Yeah, a lot. Well, I never dated a musician that was in my band. I just refused to do it because I've seen other people, and I didn't date them. I didn't go out with them. I didn't want to do that. But when I met my husband, Joe, everything changed. It just changed. It was like, I have to have him, and he has to be my husband, and I'm never going to let him go. And I married him, and he was a bass player, and how cool was that? I mean, we met in a club. He was coming out to hear my band because he just came off the road from California. And I was looking for a bass player because mine got in a motorcycle accident. And so I didn't know this guy though. I didn't know Joey. And I swore I was never going to look at another man as long as I lived because I'd already been, 3 times as a charm. So I saw this little guy in the back of the room just looking all cool. I didn't know who he was. And then after we came off the stage, my guitar player introduced me. This is Joey. He came to hear our band, and we shook hands like it was one of them love at first sight that I never thought would ever happen. We shook hands with each other for at least a minute. Hi, how are you? Hi. I mean, it just happened. It happened, and you would always hope it would happen, and it did. And good thing that he was a bass player because I never had to have one in the last 23 years. And he's
a good thing to have.
Darn bass player, and he writes the music. He writes the music and hands me the music and says, "See what you can do with it." Mm-hmm. And that's just an awesome thing.
So that's one of the best projects that someone can hand you and just say, "Hey, do your thing." Right.
We have our little disagreements once in a while, but we never let the sun go down on our wrath, and we never walk on that stage in a bad mood because we're in love. We've been in love for 23 years.
Right. There's a lot to be said for that.
It's a godly love.
Yep, absolutely.
Evenly yoked together.
Well, look at all the acts over the years, whether it was Johnny Cash and his wife, they go up on stage, and of course I'm sure they would have their arguments and stuff like that. But when it came time to perform, you would never know. You would never know. No,
you wouldn't. You'd never know. No.
Yeah.
Oh, you got my background in here now. I don't have the gym scene, But I want to tell you what a pleasure it is to be on here and that you had asked me because, like I said, I don't say, "Hey, can I be on your show?" We did the Think Twice radio show forever, and I'd ask people to come on, And it was such a joy to hear their stories. I've had, and when I call, I got to tell you just a quick story. A very good friend of the family, Slick Tom Tiberi from 97 Rock. He's my brother-in-law's best friend. And I would call him and I'd say, "Hey, Tom, I know you can't," and he'd let me get away with it. "I know you can't say that Silver Extreme is playing at the Cove next week, but I called just to say, hey, what are you wearing, Tom?" And he'd say, "Well, Patsy, we can't announce the band's playing at the Cove Saturday night at 6 o'clock. We can't do that." And it's so cool. I love what you guys do. I mean, it's just.
I got
awesome.
one last question for you. Will you come back and see us again?
Anytime.
That's so cool. Yeah, we're gonna wrap.
I tried to drag my husband with me, but my husband is he's not shy. He just, it's your thing right now, you do
that's
your
cool.
thing right now,
That's totally cool. No, no, because we're getting short on time, and again, that's why I'd like to have you back, because you kind of got, for lack of a better word, screwed out of some time because of whatever happened with the internet. I don't know what that was, but thankfully we got you back again, and we'd love to have you back.
Yeah.
I still don't know how this Richie guy got in here, because that was just like.
I don't either.
It wasn't that phone call this afternoon, was it, Pete? But it's okay, because I was going to watch the show anyways. I wasn't going to wear the suit, but proceed.
Look, while I'm talking to you.
No, you know what? Richie Durwald is the best entertainer in the universe. There is no one like Richie Durwald. And we've been friends, I don't know, 30 years, 40 years. How long? I don't know.
I think it could be like 35 years, Patsy.
I think I was like 35 when I met you. And I've never seen, he can do anything.
I've seen a lot of his videos.
And he always drags me into his stuff. Hey, Patsy. And I always drag him. Hey, Richie, we're thinking about this. We're going to do this. And he drags me into all. I was in a movie with him. I was a mean nurse. It was my first movie. And I was a nurse. And I got laughs because, when that movie Spies Like Us?
Oh, yeah. Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd. Yeah.
Yeah, where they go, doctor.
Yes.
One of my lines was, I was telling this girl she can't get out of the bed because she's paralyzed. I'm like, you can't do that. And she said, oh, yes, I can. And I said, I'm going to get the doctor. Doctor. And I did that, and I got a laugh, and it wasn't a funny movie. And we were actually at the show. I was on the big screen, I couldn't, because of Richie.
Well, I mean, I just got to say one thing really short. I know I'm being a mystery guest, but when I saw Patsy for the first time, it was obvious that she was kind of like me. She had to grow up with show business all of her life because she wasn't just a great entertainer. She was an actor. She was interacting with the audience. She had all the elements that I was looking for and more. So, Patsy, I think so highly of you. I love Joey. He is the most humble guy with platinum albums that I know. I don't know anyone else that had platinum albums. But anyway, Patsy is absolutely amazing. I'm so glad that you guys had her on our show because coming up, I see some pretty big things for Radio 9. I'm like, she was on our show,
Right, and I see some big things for Changes. For the song Changes, because I sang the harmonies on there.
Yeah,
he's
all 6 of them, yeah.
I did them all. I'd say, okay, what do you want now? Oh, well, I want this part, or I want that part, so I just sang. And I can sing harmony there could be 10 people singing, and I can find another spot.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
It's just a God-given talent,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was saying, don't make me do this one again because it was like way high. Don't make me do that again. Get it now. Because,
I got that one on the first take, remember? I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. Don't kill yourself again.
That's money.
I did I did a Go Axe Dallas song for the Buffalo Bills when we went to the Super Bowl. And I did it for 97 Rock. It was against the Dallas Cowboys, and it was on the radio and all that crap. And but I did many things, and nobody even knew what I did because there was no internet. But anyway, I got called into the studio to do this song, It was called Go Axe Dallas to the tune of White Rabbit.
Oh, nice.
And I went in there and I was all excited. I loved the studio. I sang the song, and the lyrics are funny. I sang, it's all about all the players that were in there. And they go, okay, thank you. I'm like, what do you mean, thank you? Can I do it again? No, you don't have to do it again. Bye. I was like, I wanted to do it again, you know. But it was a very cool song. It was, and they played, on 97 Rock, they played the one part where I went, the Cowboys, blow, and they went, blow, 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 all day, blow. I mean, that's how I got recognition, you know. Hey, that's Patsy going, you blow, you know.
Well,
I'm gonna let you say goodbye to me because I know you want to hang up.
Oh, no.
I don't, you know, I have so many stories.
No, that's why I asked if you would come back.
Patsy, do you have any shows coming up? Do you have anything going on that you'd like to tell our audience that if people want to come check you out, website, anything like that?
Silver Extreme is booked starting January, February, March, April, May, July, June, July. But I'm hoping that the phone's going to ring now that the powers that be, you know, are going to allow us to play music. You know, let the bars stay open longer. Silver Extreme plays everywhere. Radio 9 is in rehearsal right now, and probably our first gig with Radio 9 will probably be the Rockin' Buffalo with our good friend Mike Shearer. He's the best. And but let me tell you about Creation Performing Workshop. I only take 4 or 5 in a class. That's it. And I still have some openings, and we're getting ready to do a summer show. We were supposed to do Timon last year, but it got canceled. But I always have something going on. Always. Well, always.
On behalf of
my good friend Dottie Kenny. Hi, Dottie Kenny. I love you, Dottie Kenny. We do a variety show, and we play all over the place, too. The Cabana out there.
Can I give everybody a tip? Patsy posts all this stuff on her Facebook page, so you can see all this stuff by going to her Facebook page. Yeah. Is that right, Patsy?
Yeah, I do.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I use my Facebook for. I'm not out there doing politics and you suck and all that. It's like, hey, we're playing. Here's our new song, or here's my girls doing a dance. You know, I think that's what it's for. I think it's for to share happiness.
Absolutely.
You know?
Now, Patsy, on behalf of 3 Chords and the Truth, Alex, me, Sebastian, you know, thanks for coming on. And that's why I said I hope we can have you back again, because whatever that 10-minute thing was, whatever happened, I don't know, I don't care, but it was good to have you back.
I know. And our mystery guest, we have to have our mystery guest.
Our mystery guest. And by the way, mystery guest, I guess we're doing the show from your studio next week, right?
Jamie Holcomb.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
Jamie.
absolutely amazing. Yeah, I was talking to Joey about him too, and Jamie Holcomb and he's really cool. I don't know how to describe him. He's very laid back, almost like a surfer dude. I mean, I don't know if that's what to say it.
And you're gonna have Van on there too, right, Van?
Van Taylor is. Oh my gosh,
yep.
He's been all around the world. It's like, who's on the phone? It's Van Taylor. Hey, Van, where are you? Egypt. Okay, you know,
I love singing next to him when he's playing the piano. I love it. We've
Martian,
done many shows together at the casino at the Bears Den.
Yes, and the convention center in the casino, right?
Yeah, we do cool stuff. We do cool stuff. We have our bands, we have our shows, and then we have Richie and Patsy doing their thing, you know, with his whole family. Awesome.
Now, and like I said before, if you get to see, now that we're able to go out and, you know, see people again, check out Alex, the Noblemen. They're a great band, you know, and they mostly covers, but they threw a lot of. Every once in a while, Alex, you know, throws one of his hundreds of original songs in there, and he does it very well.
I'm gonna friend you, Alex.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna friend you, Alex.
Like I said, I did the Nashville thing before the internet. I mean, nobody knew all this cool stuff. I played Vegas, Atlantic City, Lake Tahoe, New York City. I was on the cover of their famous magazine. I can't remember the name of it now. And nobody knew because there was no internet.
There was no internet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Showbill magazine. Showbill magazine.
Okay.
They came
Yeah.
and put me on the cover with my girls because I had 2 girls from American Bandstand. That's
Wow.
how old I am. And they would, it's like, yeah. I just, little, you have to take care of yourself, ladies. Retinol. And smile a lot. But the singing has kept my face nice and tight.
That's right. There's times you're smiling so much, sometimes you feel like you have a coat hanger.
Right.
Even when you're sad, like, no, I'm really sad. I just
And I'm gonna friend you, and I want to thank my friend Pete. Thank you, Pete.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
No, and I'm
Because I'm usually the one with the camera, and will you talk to me? And but I got a chance to be on your show.
no, and we were very glad because again, I apologize for that, whatever the glitch was, but we're going to do it again. That's why I asked you if you'd be so graceful to come back. Cool for our mystery guest host. Again, go see The Nobleman. I got to plug my buddy Sebastian across from me. He does a sports show.
I'm gonna write that down.
On
Nobleman.
Monday nights. If you dig sports, 42 North, 78 West. He does a great job. He's a 21-year-old film student. And if you're looking for anybody to do a video for you, for a music video, give the boy a call.
I am. Do you know anybody that does animation? I have a song called Mr. Imagination, and I'd like to have it animated like a cartoon.
He's shaking his head. No, he doesn't know that. But
See, yeah. But I'm gonna call on you though.
yeah, no, call anytime.
Radio Night
If
needs
anyone
a-
out there is watching can do animation, maybe they can contact you.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a very. My son does it, but he lives in California, so. But anyway, see how I take over? I can't do this.
It was your show.
It was your show.
I get excited. I'm so excited. Alex, I'm going to come and see The Nobleman because, like I said, I did the Nashville thing and I did the country circuit for a long time, but I really wasn't enjoying myself too much. I wanted to sing, Driving My Life Away, that kind of country. And you know what I mean? I wanted to.
Well, we do a good mix of we do some Southern classic rock and some country. So we definitely get, if I could say the type of vocalization comes out, it's definitely grunty stuff. So ZZ Top's, little bit of Allman Brothers.
Wow.
We'll do some Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan for some of the newer folks. So we like to mix
Can I
it up
ask
a little
you
bit.
who's in your band?
Sure. I play guitar and I do some vocals. And we have our lead singer, Marty Milbrand. I feel like I should have a radio announcer voice.
You do, though. You're great. You're great.
It's a working out for the plug.
Yeah, right. Then we have our lead guitar player, Terry McGovern, our bass player, Gary Panzakevich, and then we have our drummer, who's affectionately known as just Carson. And he is, anybody that knows the Muppets and knows Animal, this is our drummer. He's the type of drummer that says, just give it to me. I'll be able to play the rhythm. And he just does a fantastic job.
Right.
So,
And where are you playing at, Alex, next?
well, I'm glad you asked. So we're playing at the Stage April 2nd.
Okay.
The Stage in Williamsville. We're starting at 6:00 p.m. and we're opening for Bad Kitty. Bad Kitty will be playing later on that night. So it's kind of a double header that day. We know a couple people from that band, so it's kind of cool. We did this back in November, literally 2 days just before New York State kind of put the gauntlet on live music and everything like that. So we're more than thrilled to be able to be back on stage, to be able to entertain our audience.
We were booked solid, and it was like, bum.
Yes.
But, I wanted to play at the Stage, but the guy said, well, I need a resume and a portfolio and all that. And I'm like, I don't have any of that, but...
You got to know somebody, right?
You do. You understand. Hey, make them an offer they can't refuse.
That's right.
Hey, you come to me.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to play.
Don't put your back to the door when you eat your food.
That's Alex. Alex has got a voice for radio. I've got a face for radio. Anyway,
And you have the heart of gold.
That's right.
you guys have been.
I can tell.
That's why we
just by
call him Neil
looking at
Young.
somebody. I can tell just by looking at somebody
You guys-
what kind of person they are.
You guys have all been great. Richie, thanks for hanging with us, man. That was pretty cool.
Yes, thanks both of you for being on the show.
You know, and we'll catch you next week, 7:00 with at Richie's Casa de Richie again.
Of course, Richie.
But
of
it's
course.
Tuesday night, right?
Oh, Tuesday, yes.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday
Yep.
night.
Yep. Tuesday.
I'll be watching.
Tuesday
I'll be
night at
watching.
7. Casa de Richie. On
And
behalf.
thank you for doing a special Wednesday.
It worked out great, Patsy, and it was so cool. And again, we're gonna have you back if you are so kind to come back with us.
Oh, anytime. I like it because I get to answer questions.
Nice.
But I don't know where to end. I never know how to shut up.
Well, it's gonna
I don't
end
have to-
with the outro music right now. Good night. Good night.
Thank you for sharing, Alex.
My pleasure. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks.
The nobleman. The nobleman.
The noble.